Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is July the 2nd, 2019. Strong hand, be a unique beast, value your wealth in Bitcoin, having hype, unconfiscatable, 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, offended by selling. Don't FOMO on alts. I think some people did FOMO on alts like a couple days ago or a day ago. Ouch. All right, dudes. I'm back in Baltimore. You got a live show. Earlier today, there was a taped show, and yesterday there was a taped show. So you got an extra show in there. Check it all out at disruptmeister.com. Follow me on Twitter at TechBalt, TECHBALT. Oh, yeah, humid Baltimore, 4th of July. It's summer, baby. Pound that like button. So if you have any questions, type in Bitcoin Meister in the chat. But I think I got a lot to cover today, so this one might go long. But questions are always welcome. Super chats are welcome too. Okay. Oh, I'm just, okay, I'm reading some of my notes here. Having hype. It's getting closer, people. Oh, yeah. So let's start with this Marty Bent tweet. Very inspirational. Bitcoin is still so raw right now that it turns a lot of people off. This is to be expected when an alien technology is dropped on us. Those who are able to look beyond its current state and see where the puck is going will benefit immensely. Pound that like button. That's for all those naysayers. It's so slow now. It's so hard to use. It doesn't scale. It doesn't this, that, and the other. Just looking for the negatives. Look in the future, dudes. Watch my old videos from 2015 and 2016 when I was already looking in the future saying, well, it's going to improve in this way, that way, and the other. All these other people are going to get into it. You got to look where the puck is going. Not how things are currently. Don't focus on the negative things that are going to be fixed. Think about what's it going to be like when some of these issues are going to be resolved. Hey, or you can just be doom and gloom in the present and come up with all sorts of wonderful excuses why you're a no-coiner. Yeah, I'm wearing the Bitcoin to the moon shirt, baby. Check it out. I think I linked to it below and somewhere. He's great in Australia. Hopefully I'll meet him. Speaking about below, down under, that's where he is. Okay. Coinbase. Oh, what? So during my travels, I noticed that Coinbase has Chainlink now. Chainlink coin. Now, I thought Chainlink was just a total spam coin. All these people, bots on my comment section in YouTube, they leave so much Chainlink spam. It's just click on this link. I erase it all because it's totally spam. It's to links that are probably steal your money. I don't even know what these things are, and so I'm shocked. I'm like, it's really a real thing? Coinbase listed? And of course, it pumped because Coinbase listed. I mean, it was just like Zaliqua. I thought Zaliqua was a total fake thing also that people just left in comment sections. But you can sell that at Coinbase also. I mean, it's like I'm being back in Baltimore. And when I hear like Zaliqua, I'm like, Zaliqua had a nice chain link, nice gold chain link. I mean, this is... These are again, don't FOMO on altcoins. There's another reason why. I heard there was a South Korean premium again, that it was costing more in South Korea to buy Bitcoin. I haven't exactly seen the proof of that yet. If that's going on, that's something that we saw in 2017 during the Bitcoin bull market. So maybe that's bullish for you people. Hey, man, I don't care who's buying it. South Koreans, Zimbabweans, whatever. There was like a fake story about Zimbabwe that was out there, by the way. I'm not even going to repeat it. It was fake. Okay, moving on about Bitcoin in Zimbabwe. And an insane price. What is this? Oh, I want to remind everyone that yesterday's video, and it's linked to below, I told you how to claim your BSV, your B Gold, your BCH using the Garda wallet. It's a step-by-step process, and how to sell it also. And the selling stuff, I'm not going to mention the specifics right now. You watch the video. You can sell it from Garda also very privately if you're interested. And anyway, I only mention this because you should never have bought any of that stuff that I just listed. If you, again, the video is about claiming it, your crypto dividends. If you own your Bitcoin and you controlled your private key back in the day when these crypto dividends came about, you're entitled to it. Those who hold their Bitcoin on a Trezor or a Ledger or whatever, you control your own private key. You get interest on your Bitcoin through the crypto dividend process. MWC, Mimblewimble coin, crypto dividend airdrop is coming up very soon. Going to talk about that later. And also going to talk about a new hardware wallet that's coming out. That has come out, apparently, that Juan Galt is talking about. Juan Galt might be coming back on the show soon. All right, so a few people, oh God, you weak hands out there, you see it go below $10,000 and you freak out. I mean, think about that. Put that in perspective, dudes. Well, some people started freaking out clearly and started buying alts. They started buying alts. They thought, oh, my Bitcoin's worth some now. I'm more now. I'm gonna diversify for the sake of diversify. Ouch, that didn't turn out too well. Bitcoin dominance went down for a little bit when I was in the plane. Now Bitcoin dominance is back up again. Oh God, guys, just stick with the real thing. And again, and were you guys listening the other day when I said the July 4th week off here, that we're on a week? Many Americans are taking the week off. As it gets closer to July 4th, more and more will be taking days off. The market is thin. All sorts of crazy things are happening. Don't gamble now, especially don't gamble now when we're during this holiday weekend. Yeah, it can go down suddenly when hardly any Americans are dealing with it, or a bunch of Americans panic, and then the strong hand Americans aren't buying. Don't mess around on holiday weekends, but never mess around. Hold your Bitcoin, pound that like button. So I want to talk about the 5-digit realm we're in. For you fiat freaks out there, and there are a lot of you fiat freaks, you're getting used to 5 digits now. And so now when it goes down to 4 digits, you're like, well, it's not supposed to be that way anymore. Okay, that's understandable. Hey, people are getting used to the 5-digit thing. I remember when it was the transition from 3 digits to 4 digits. At first, when it got to, in 2013, when it first got to 4 digits, oh my God. And then people thought it will never get there again. It'll never get there again. Lo and behold, it got there again. Same thing. We got to 5 digits back in 2017. And then we had the bear market. So many people will never get there again. We'll never get there again. And now we're there again. We're there again. And just get used to it and get ready for that next level one of these days. I'm not going to say what. So many newbies are like, Adam, can we have your price prediction for the end of the year? No! 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. That's not what this show is about. It's not about fancy sensor graphics. Go over to the Bikini Babes channel or whatever. Go ask a little kid on the street what he thinks the darn price is going to be at the end of the year. That's as good as anybody else's price prediction. I want to have my nephew on the show and give price predictions. He's 5 years old. It's the same. It's just as good as those YouTubers who make price predictions. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And that you guys need that kind of validation? You're going to lose your Bitcoin if you need validation from me to tell you my price prediction. It's ridiculous. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. It's going to be worth a lot more after a 2020 halving. I don't need to give you a specific 88888 web bot nonsense that you gamblers. It's such a disgrace. You haven't learned anything yet. I mean, those are newbies that asking me those questions. But if you're an oldie and you've been watching this show for a while, you want a price prediction, come on. And you want to tell me about your new altcoin, come on, pay attention. Listening comprehension. How many times do I have to say it? God, again, if you don't have listening comprehension, you're going to fail. You're going to fail at Bitcoin. You're impulsive. I don't know what to say. I can't teach listening comprehension. I mean, it might be an IQ thing. I don't know. I don't understand. God willing, people of low IQ can have or below average IQ can have listening comprehension too. I would hate to be in a situation where you don't have not to have listening comprehension. All right. Bitcoin, a declaration of independence. Colonel Swan Jr. says he sent $10 in the super chat. Thank you. It's that time of year, isn't it? Oh yeah, 4th of July. Born on the 4th of July. That was a movie. Not too Tom Cruise, good actor though. Good actor. He's aged pretty well, unlike Well, that's for the Saturday shows. So, but he's had work done and stuff. Okay, so Roman Q says anyone who is sad, but again, fancy sister. Who cares what Tom Cruise looks like? Well, in the '80s, Hollywood people do. Hollywood people. I mean, that's not my realm. That's what that's all about. Here, no fancy sensor graphics. Tom Cruise could just go natural and look like however old he is on if he had Bitcoin expertise, but he doesn't. So, but he's rich though. Don't join his cult. Anyone, speaking of cults, BSV, anyone who is sad when BSV price goes down clearly values their wealth in fiat. I'll take more sats per dollar every single time. There you go, Roman Q. And yeah, again, it is natural for people to value. They have to slowly get away from that paradigm, valuing their wealth in dollars, and just be like, yeah, so what? It's under 10K again. What? Okay, I still have as much Bitcoin. We're in the 5-digit realm now. It's going to come back to the 5-digit realm. 5-digit realm, baby. Loving it. Loving the 5-digit realm. I mean, and so that you can relate to the fiat people that way. Talk about the 5-digit realm and talk about how we've gone through these eras of. So don't panic when it dips back into the 4-digit. Don't panic. We're something to get used to. All right, Marber says, I never put less than $1 per. And the naysayers. I have lived through this so many times. It'll never get back to 4 digits. It'll never get back to 5 digits. Fiat freaks. All right. Marber said, I never put less than $1 per day into Bitcoin. If an 80%er can scrape together money for the snack machine, they can afford to scrape together a few dollars for some Bitcoin. You better believe it. And when I was at the Burbank airport the other day, or yesterday, I guess, I don't even know what day it is. By the way, fly out of Burbank, not LAX, much easier. Of course, I took public transportation to the Burbank airport. And of course, when I was speaking of, I did not eat a thing, I haven't eaten a thing for over 48 hours. I'm going for the 86-hour fast. It'll be easy. Don't worry. But what Marber said, he says, if you put money into a snack machine, you can afford to put money into Bitcoin. I was walking by a Coca-Cola machine. Of course, I would never buy anything there. Stuck my fingers into that little trough where the change comes out. Bam! 50 cents for the Meister. Respect the money. Pound that like button. And I mean, so many of you are probably saying, hey, you're supposed to have all this Bitcoin and you do all these cheap things. Yeah, I do. Pound that like button. So that's how you become wealthy. You don't need to do the fancy things. I didn't need to take a limo to LAX or something like that. No. I take the public transportation, fly out of Burbank, get quarters out of a freaking soda machine. Value, there you go. Respect the money. Respect the money, baby. That's how you do it. And then you get to travel all around and be awake at midnight and when you need some sleep and doing fun shows with your friends all over the world here. I do like you guys. Friends all over the world. Pound that like button. Vortex is in the house. Oh my God. Oh, wait, he says, what does he say here? He's out wherever he is, undisclosed location in a time zone that I was just in. Seriously. Oh, he curses Andy Hoffman, but he beeped out I'm going to talk about Andy Hoffman in a second. I'm going to talk about it, Vortex. Too bad we have to talk about him at all. No, we got to talk about him at all because Vortex, my brother, people ask me about him. So I got to tell them what's going on. They asked me about him. They asked me about people. Didn't he sell all his Bitcoin? He did sell all his Bitcoin, but there's a part 2 to the story now. And again, you can learn lessons. You can, go decide. Are you going to do what Andy did, or are you going to do what we're going to talk about in a second, though. So we talked about Chainlink. We talked about South Korea. And we talked about people FOMOing on altcoins, silly. And okay, Andy Hoffman was next. You read my mind. So first of all, Andy Hoffman's latest tweet, latest thing, Steemit article. He says, "My return to Bitcoin today." Oh yeah, Andy bought back into Bitcoin at $10,000 because he saw it go below 10,000, and then he decided to buy back in because he believes strong in that $10,000 now. Now he's happy. He has a nice twist in the whole thing. He can get his MWC crypto dividend. That's a nice way of putting it. He'll be able to get more since he owns Bitcoin. He's going to get some MWC. He also works for MWC, so obviously I assume he's getting complimentary MWC also for being their marketing team. He's a dude marketing team. But there he is. He sold all his Bitcoin when it hit, the Hoffman line, $5,800, whatever it is, and now he's buying some back at 10,000. and he's all into, he's into his B-rhodium and he's into MWC. So, I mean, again, for me, and he sold his Bitcoin because he's got a family. He's 50. He's going to be 50 soon. Here's the thing, dudes. Andy and Adam are not the same people at all, but they can be friends, though. They can definitely be friends. And I have said all along, I haven't changed the darn thing. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. There's no time to sell into dollars. I understand what he was trying to do. And now it clearly, I mean, he would admit mathematically, it looks horrible. It looks horrible. It just does. I mean, you can't deny it. You sell all your Bitcoin at a low price. It goes lower, and then you buy back at 10,000. So it looks bad. But he has that much faith in Bitcoin that it's going to go much higher than 10,000. Obviously, he'll get his crypto dividends again. He's back on the train again. So there's your answer. People are always there. Didn't he sell all his Bitcoin? Didn't he do? There he is. It's linked to below. He explains it below. But again, I wouldn't want to be in that situation. I wouldn't. And I think that's why I said you cannot time these markets. You cannot value your wealth in fiat, and you can't worry just because it's in a bear. We have these bear markets and everything. But again, he wanted some fiat. He obviously must have paid off something. It's his personal business why he needed the fiat and everything. And people always say to me, like, "Oh, isn't there a point when you're going to need fiat, Adam? Isn't there?" And no, the way I have set up myself, I have fiat in the bank that I live off of, so I never have to touch my Bitcoin. So I never have to worry about any of this stuff, running out of money or supporting a family and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I support the Adam Meister family, Adam Meister, with the fiat that's in the bank. I actually have to deposit some fiat in the bank in the morning. Well, I've got so many things to take care of when I'm back in Baltimore. Oh, these things. All right. Now moving on. So yeah, don't attempt to time the markets. Don't be a trader. Don't just. Okay, but let's talk about an altcoin here, a centralized one. It was this story just broke before I went about 3-4 hours before I went on. I have no concept of time anymore. But members, this is from Pomp. This is great. Members of Congress just sent this letter to Facebook asking them to officially stop development of Libra. Wait till Congress finds out they can't send letters to Bitcoin. Bam! So Maxine is virtue signaling. She is threatened now in letter form, the old way. Sent a memo to Facebook, and I'll read a quote from it saying she doesn't like what they're doing. They must stop right now. And of course, you could do that with a centralized cryptocurrency with Libra. But as Pomp says, wait till they grasp the concept that they cannot do that to Bitcoin. And trust me, they don't grasp that concept at all yet from this quote that I'm about to read. But the funny thing is, once this story broke, that's when Bitcoin basically broke $11,000 again. It pumped right around this time, which is very odd that some in the market think it's. Again, these are all people trying to manipulate the market in their own way, and that's where the big boys play. They see that Facebook drops out. Okay, try to not let's boost the price a little bit. Let's buy. But I mean, the other day that that Facebook is threatened, but previously when Facebook entered the party, everyone was saying, "Oh, Facebook's in the game. That means Bitcoin is worth more." So can you have it both ways? Yeah, you can have it both ways. That's why you don't want to be a trader. That's why you don't want to bet on this kind of stuff, because it can pump on the news that Facebook is getting into Bitcoin, and then it can pump on the news that Facebook might be getting out of Bitcoin, getting out of crypto. Excuse me, not getting into Bitcoin, getting into crypto, Hey guys, but let the chips fall as they may, and just watch it with your strong hand. Just know that you have Bitcoin, you're getting more and more Bitcoin. And if Facebook gets threatened by Maxine, that's fine. Maybe the Bitcoin price will drop. Maybe it'll get in the long run. It'll all even out. It'll be fine. You have the same amount of Bitcoin. But let's read what Maxine and the gang had to say. Because Facebook is already in the hands of over a quarter of the world's population, it is imperative that Facebook and its partners, that's interesting, immediately cease implementation plans until regulators and Congress have an opportunity to examine these issues and take action. During this moratorium, we intend to hold public public hearings on the risk and benefits of cryptocurrency-based activities and explore legislative solutions. Failure to cease implementation before we can do so risks a new Swiss-based financial system that is too big to fail. So they're calling it a Swiss-based financial system because it's based, the nonprofit is based in Switzerland. They do not get this at all. If you read the rest of this disgrace, they like insert some Russian FUD in there about Facebook. They just give excuse after excuse why they have to meddle in a private corporation's business, okay? They're just ragging on Facebook. And again, you can rag on Facebook too and everything, but she's doing it for virtue signaling. It's not just her. It's a bunch of people who signed it. I know that Facebook getting into this space is great. This is where the big boys play. If you want to give all your information to Facebook and let them be your bank and let them be your currency, more power to you. Just know what you're getting into. You don't need Auntie Maxine to try to regulate them so she can get a bribe out of them for her campaign. It's so ridiculous. And just to read it is great. To read this letter is great, but it's clear they don't understand a darn thing. They don't understand decentralization or Swiss-based currency. Another one. A Swiss-based currency. Oh, so scary. Oh, Russians bought ads on Facebook. Who cares? Just okay. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. And that they're going to have hearings on crypto. So are the hearings just going to be Facebook cryptocurrency or all cryptocurrency? Bring it on. It should be fun. And again, some people will try to FUD about it. They can't stop Bitcoin. And I don't think they can stop Facebook coin either. Even though it's centralized, but Facebook likes to play by the rules on a certain level. So who knows? Maybe Facebook will have to adopt some of the recommendations. You know what? Bitcoin doesn't have to adopt any of their recommendations and will not. So it will be great if an all-out cryptocurrency hearing comes out of this, but it might just be Facebook-oriented. Just read the letter, the memo, the recommendation, whatever you want to call it. It's ludicrous. By the way, Friday's show, This Week in Bitcoin, is linked to below. Techbalt.com, TECHBALT. Follow me there. Gigi was on. Benny was on. Steve Barber were on. It was great. Talked about mining, digital hygiene. Please check it out. Saturday's show is also great. And of course, the last yesterday's show, I already talked about that. I want to go back to Andy Hoffman for a second. And yeah, he clearly values part of his wealth in altcoins. And I don't recommend doing that. I don't do it. He thinks diversification is all right. He's written about that recently. I don't think diversification in altcoins is all right. I don't think at all. I don't pay for things that I get for free either. So at the end of the day, and he says this in the article, he has less Bitcoin than he did beforehand. And that's just that's the path he's gone on. I do not want to be in that situation ever where I have less Bitcoin than I previously did. All right. Ever that's a long term there, because again, I will give it to relatives and stuff eventually. I will buy things with it eventually that I need, but what do I need anyway now? But you get right, Jeff. You never want, if you start to do this trading stuff and if you start to cross the streams and go back into fiat, okay, you don't want to end up with less Bitcoin. You don't. And he was in a situation for a while, and a lot of people were. It was $3,000 freaking dollars. You could buy it. You could end up with more Bitcoin. And many people, it's not just, I'm not picking on Andy Hoffman. Many people are in that situation. You see the people that are ripping on, I'm not even going to name names, but when's it going to be $1,000? When's it going to be $1,500 again? Well, first of all, it's your fault that you were waiting for it to go lower and lower and lower just because some dude on YouTube and a bikini babe and some stock market guy were talking about it going to 1,000 or whatever. You and all these people are cursing those people. Dude, curse yourself. You shouldn't have been listening. You shouldn't have been listening to them and thinking, hoping and praying, ooh, I sold my Bitcoin because they told me to. Now I'm going to buy it back for even cheaper. Just wait one more day. It'll be even cheaper. And then it never gets that cheaper again. And if you sold your Bitcoin, don't be greedy. Get it. If the price is cheaper, get it back. Get back in the game, baby. Don't cross the streams. Pound that like button. Okay, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. All right, the Halving Show. I linked to his channel below. Oh, there, Frank Castandini is back in the, he retracted his message, but he's back in the house. I was talking about him yesterday. Frank, I was talking about San Francisco. I was talking about gay people in San Francisco on one of my shows. I don't know. That Frank, he's telling the brothers out there to get the Bitcoin. Hopefully you are, Frank. I hope so. And again, Facebook Bitcoin, anyone can be in Bitcoin. Gay people, straight people, whatever. San Francisco people, Baltimore people. Good to see you back, Frank. I couldn't think of your name the other day. Your beautiful Italian-sounding name. I could not think of it. I hope everything is all. Oh, because someone in the chat was trying to troll me about gay people, and he's like, "Where are the gay people in San Francisco?" I was like, "Well, many are in the Castro district." And I started talking, and he's like, "Where are the gay people in Los Angeles?" I'm like, "Well, in West Hollywood. It's the gayest city in the United States of America." All right. So, and then I started talking about Frank Castandini, who is now in the chat, and I've just rambled on so much. So, 123 No Scope says, Bitcoin Meister, in my opinion, Andy Hoffman showed his true colors during the bear market. He sold at 6,000, and look what happened. Yeah, look what happened. People that followed him should have personal responsibility, though. He did not tell anyone to do what he did. He did not tell anyone to do what he did. And he had a weak hand. Yeah, he had a weak hand. So what? He had a weak hand. You cannot put these people. I'm explaining the situation. I'm giving you his response is there. Check it out. He had a weak hand. He did what he did. He's taking personal responsibility. He got back into Bitcoin. He's not complaining. He's not complaining. He's competing. He's not complaining. There you go. That's one of the things you got to get out of this, people. He isn't complaining. There are people that are ripping on him mercilessly, and let them. I mean, that's their opinion and everything, but he's not complaining. He did what he did. You see how the numbers add up now. He has less Bitcoin than he did before, and I value my wealth in Bitcoin. Frank said, I've been watching almost every one of your shows. Did you see the other? I don't know what it was, Frank, when I mentioned you. It was last week. It was last week. It might have been this weekend. I don't even know. All right. Vortex says Bitcoin Meister is literally his job to tell his followers what to do, Adam. No. It's not your job to tell your followers what to do. It's not your job to tell Vortex. It's not. You're not supposed to tell people what to do. You're supposed to. I mean, people don't follow you because they want your. I mean, they want to follow you blindly, and they want your ideas. I mean, he told them what he was doing. He didn't say do what I wouldn't want to follow anyone that says do what I do. Do what I do. Do definitely what I do. I talk about what I do. I buy and hold. I say buy and hold is I believe it is a smart thing to do. And I say, I don't think you should diversify for the sake of diversification, but I can't stop people from doing it. They have to add it up. They have to add up the benefits on their own and see, is this guy legitimate? Is he practicing what he's preaching and everything? So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's his job. It's not his job to tell people because he's not getting paid. He's a personality that's out there. There's plenty of personalities out there, and you can critique them. And there's some legitimate critiques against Andy now. There's legitimate critiques against Web City. Web City just said something that I thought was from a troll. I'm not going to repeat what you said, man. But he wasn't trolling. I think he's serious. And Frank said, I've been selling lots of real estate. And BTFD, we're happy and gay in San Francisco. Keep up the great work. You're my favorite Bitcoin personality. Thank you, Frank. And then you're still in that real estate thing. I know you got to do what you got to do, man. And that real estate is lucrative out there. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But get it more into the Bitcoin side, more into the Bitcoin. You don't pay taxes on that Bitcoin, property taxes on that I'm not going to rip on real estate right now. I've done that in plenty of other shows. I've got a real estate guest here. So, yeah. But anyway, we all the people out there, Vortex, me, Andy, whoever, Benny, we give strong suggestions, I guess, but I'm not ordering anyone to do. I don't want people to blindly follow me. Definitely. I want to make that clear. But I'm telling you what I do, my strong beliefs are, and that is strong hand, value your wealth in Bitcoin. Just don't trade. That's what I do. Don't trade. But hey, people do it. And they'll have to learn. It's personal responsibility is new counterculture. That's what it boils down to. That's why because of that, That's my base belief there. Personal responsibility is the new counterculture, that it isn't Andy's job, and people, he can't be blamed because it's the person. He didn't do it. You did it. If you were inspired by Andy to sell, well, you sold. It didn't work out well. But I don't think too many people were. He didn't say to do it either. I don't think it was supposed to be an inspirational thing when he did it. He's just honest about what he did. 123 NoScript said, just graduated from college. Well, trying to work in Bitcoin full time, looking at jobs at Gemini, trying to spread Bitcoin maximalism everywhere. Still thinking strong hand. Dude, that's awesome. Strong hand. Frank, thank you for the $10. Thank you everybody for the super chats that have been given them today. Very, very good. I think I mentioned all the dudes that did it. Vortex. Okay. Oh, no. I already read Vortex's thing. Okay. Frank, it's $10. Thank you, man. You just let people know what's smart according to your philosophy, which is one of the most practical. Well, thank you again, Frank, for this super chat, and thank you for this support. Derek C says, gold is fool's Bitcoin. Pound that like button, baby. I love it. Yes, Bitcoin is living gold's dream. Okay. Here we go. Vortex, it brings up an interesting point. Adam's advice is free and more valuable than Andy's paid advice. Andy was charging for his site, but he hasn't done that for a long time. So I think that's where you're getting, he's being paid for his advice. He's not being paid for that site anymore. So anything that he posts is free. So when he says, I sold my Bitcoin, it was free. It was free stuff out there. That is important that his Crypto Gold Central isn't a paid thing anymore. So I see where you were coming from saying it's his job, but it's not it just doesn't exist anymore. So his information is as free as our information now. I mean, we talked a lot did Richard, this is good. Moonfuel says, did Richard launch his scam coin yet? No, he hasn't for me. Now, again, I'm people, you guys are the ones that told me about Richard Hart's ego coin, okay? And at first, I was very reluctant to even look into it because I don't like the direction Richard. I mean, there's been exposés on him. I'm not even going to get into his past. That Chris DeRose exposed a lot about Richard Hart, and I don't even like Chris DeRose. I think Chris. I mean, I'm neutral on Chris. I think Chris is a very obnoxious person. But the truth is the truth. I mean, the expose is the expose. He exposed Richard Hart, and after that, and then when Bitcoin crashed from 20,000 to where Richard became like a weak hand, started talking about Ethereum and ICOs and all that. And so, I mean, I don't, personal responsibility is Richard can do what he wants to do and everything, okay? But people started asking me about his ego coin. They're like, Adam, you talk about all these crypto dividends. Why don't you talk about his crypto dividend? And I read about it at first, and I saw how you had to sign up for the Ethereum stuff, and I was hesitant. I didn't want to do MetaMask. I was very hesitant. And because it was Richard Hart, I was like, eh. And I could see he kept talking about it, but it wasn't happening. And then, and those of you familiar with the show, then somebody told me about this Serenium thing, which basically looked very similar to what Richard Hart was proposing. And it was already in effect. So I played around with the Serenium and the MetaMask and everything, and I've covered this on other show, and it was pretty easy to do. And it wasn't like nothing could be stolen from me or anything like that. I was a little worried. And so what the Serenium crypto dividend airdrop, Bitcoin airdrop is exactly what Richard Hart is proposing. And so if Richard actually did this, I would do it. I would get the free Richard Hart coin or whatever it's called, Hex coin. I would do it because I already went through the process with the Serenium. So I thought the Serenium thing was a great learning experience. Now, there was someone in the comments section one day that's like, oh, Serenium ripped off what Richard Hart did. No, Richard Hart hasn't done anything yet. Serenium, you could get the free Serenium. And again, you hear me naming all these altcoins and stuff. Dudes, I'm just naming crypto dividends that you can get for free from airdrops. That the Hex that Richard Hart is proposing, and the Serenium, which is already out there, which I talked about it on previous shows numerous times. So the people are saying a Serenium ripped off Richard Hart. I mean, this is open source type of stuff. They got it to market before he did. I mean, it's clearly is very. I'm happy that the claiming is going to be the same way as Richard's is, because all these 80%ers who are into his ego, into Richard's ego coin, and are going to think that it's going to be his if he ever does it. And I hope he does it. I hope he does it because all these 80%ers are going to pump it and it's got all these complexities. Whatever, just give it to me for free so I can dump it to all these people that like his ego, and and he can do whatever he wants to and sell people's personal. Don't give personal information. That people have said he's going to sell personal. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. All I know is it's going to be the whole claiming process is going to be very similar to the Serenium thing, and I got that under my belt already. So will he ever? I hope he launches it. I think it's completely ludicrous that he hasn't, because he's been talking about it for so long. From what I heard, again, I have not watched his show since he's been on my show, so it's a very long. No, I haven't watched his show since Bitcoin went from 20K down and he started talking about Ethereum. That was it. I just so like that, I totally ignore him. And I only hear about him through people telling me about this Hex thing. So there's a little bit of I usually don't talk about other personalities like that. And in that light, but someone asked about it. So there you go. Oh God, my chat. There's so much more to talk about that I have here. 123 No Skip says it's unfortunate that newbies are tricked into B-Rhodium by Andy rather than getting straight into BTC. Well, again, B-Rhodium is an airdrop that people should have got for free. It's a Bitcoin crypto dividend that people should have got for free. And I mean that's my thought on the whole thing. Richard went from now again, and people call it a scam. I mean, it's an altcoin. It is an altcoin. It is a Bitcoin crypto dividend, but again, people there's lots of crypto dividends that people are suspicious of and everything like that. Again, I don't want to rip on Andy for I mean, he admits that's his job. He is an altcoin marketer. That's what he does. And I don't know. Are people getting tricked into B-Rhodium? That was your point, 123 No Scope. I mean, personal responsibility is a new counterculture. They don't have to buy things that they could have got for free. They don't have to buy any altcoin. And Andy clearly believes what he's selling too. That's the thing. He bought that so to say that he's scamming people is that's taking it to the next level. He really believes this thing. He buys it. He's one of the biggest buyers of it. He's put it all out there. So it's not that he's trying to dump it on people. He believes it. And again, he's had quite a journey from gold guy to Bitcoin guy to altcoin guy to valuing his wealth in altcoins, which he does partially. He values some in Bitcoin also. Richard went from calling, and this is 123 New York also says, Richard went from calling Bitcoin 50,000 during late 2017 bull market to a weak hand in the 2018 bear market. And that's when I had enough of him. And again, some of you are going to say, well, why didn't you cut Andy from your list of people? I personally know Andy. I've hung out with Andy. And again, Andy does not have these are two different types of everyone you got to judge differently, okay? There are no exposés about what Andy was selling in a past life or anything like that. People need to make their own decisions and take personal responsibility. There you go. 123 No Scope. People, that's the bottom line of the whole thing. Oh God, we're talking about personal. We're talking about personalities here a little bit too much. All right. Oh yeah. So the Halving Show, who has his own channel, and it's linked to below. He reminds everyone to get your Bitcoin off exchanges because a Norwegian exchange was just hacked, and they're going to sort of reimburse people. Sort of. Not good. That they're even sort of reimbursing people is like a miracle. Guys, it's just another. And Norway, smart, rich country, people are still keeping their Bitcoin in exchanges there, and they all got wrecked. Watch the Halving Show. He's from Norway. I linked to the article, and I linked to him below. God, I said I was going to talk about Tether. Oh, my God, and we're so far into this thing. Okay, we're going to talk about Tether real quick here. Jess Powell says the latest surge in Bitcoin has been the latest surge in Bitcoin has been accompanied by big volume in Tether. Watch as Kraken CEO Jess Powell talks to some dude about the controversy over the stable coin, and it's much ado about nothing. That is linked to below. I think the new Tether that's being created is simply reflective of new dollars coming into Bitcoin exchanges ecosystem 99% of the time. When the Tether supply goes up, that coincides with new US dollar coming into Bitcoin exchange. All right. So he's saying it's blown out of proportion. You can watch that yourself. I'm not going to get into that. And again, I don't think I've covered it on many shows that it's not Tether that's pumping up Bitcoin and that people love to tether FUD. There's all sorts of fiat that's being printed that people are throwing into Bitcoin because they don't want to be inflated away. Okay, this fiat bear, Roman Q says this fiat bear market exposed people who knew to be exposed. I only learn from people who hold. Well, it is exposed weak hands. And build, don't preach. Don't preach magical charts. Exactly. UK Bitcoin Master said, hey, Bitcoin Meister, just woke up. There's a strong hand for you. Pound that like button, UK Bitcoin Master, Brian. Oh, okay. I got to go with this. No, I'm gonna save this for tomorrow. There we go. That's something I can talk about tomorrow. And I'm going to talk about that the fee FUD. I'm supposed to talk about that today. I'll save that for tomorrow. I'm not going to talk about that inflation. I'm going to talk about Max Hillebrand giving a warning, friendly reminder that the website wasabiwallet.org is a phishing site. The only official website is wasabiwallet.io. Be very careful, people. Be very careful. All right, we won't talk about Forbes clickbait. We talked about Monday's show. We'll talk about that. Okay, we'll talk about Juan Galt. We'll talk about Juan Galt and this tomorrow about this other hardware wallet that just came out. It's linked to below now, but I'm going to erase that link so people don't get confused. Just I've been on the air now for a very long time, and we had a great interactions today, didn't we? But there is one thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about MWC again. Is a airdrop that you're going to get for free, crypto dividend. And Chris, the dude behind it, has a video out that's we demonstrate how to send funds, generate proof, and validate proof with the MWC QT wallet and Block Explorer. You can watch that video. These guys, they're going to have a real wallet ready when we get our free MWC. So that's good. That's good. And finally, linked to below is a tweet, a Bitcoin of mine, a video clip, Bitcoin flashback from January 1st, 2016. Bitcoin is a Facebook IPO type opportunity for regular people. Bitcoin was worth $425, and I talked about buying 10. So that's a fun one to watch again. Let's see if there are any more. That is it. That is it, dudes. We've been on the air a lot. I got to go to sleep. And we'll talk about the other things that you've seen linked below tomorrow. There will be a show tomorrow. Of course, I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, check out the link section below. Pound that like button. Bang that bell button. Yeah, I will say hi to you guys in the chat. BitcoinToTheMoon.com.